breaching. It's not fun if you're giving birth or if you're parking. But does it have to be so rough? The parking one, not the birth one. I'm not a doctor. So, Liv, what is your issue?
My issue is Wilson's parking.
Okay, and what specifically about Wilson parking?
So I got a fine for not paying for parking, but I did pay for the parking. Hi, you didn't pay for our parking, here's your entrance and your exit. And I'm like, hi, here's my receipt, I did pay for the parking.
You'd pay for it?
It was like a couple emails, which is actually very difficult for someone with ADHD to remember.
Yeah.
You gotta remember the password to your account, you gotta remember how to type.
things.
It's too difficult. They did let me out of it in the end, but it was just frustrating that I had to go through that in the first place when I had already paid and thought it was fine.
So, Liv, in 7 words or less, describe Wilson parking.
Stop fining my car. The car is shit. Why are you fining it?
I think they're finding you as the driver of
As
the
a
car.
person? Well, that's more personal.
No, just... You didn't have to pay the fine in the end, but you've still got an issue?
Yeah, so I just think they shouldn't have given me a fine in the first place because I did pay. So obviously their systems aren't good enough. Their signage isn't good enough. But it's not really me I'm worried about, it's kind of other people. Like if they're maybe older, they're not good with technology, they don't know how to send an email to get out of it, or English isn't their first language. Like they might not realise that they can get out of these things without having to pay.
So you're worried about other people?
Yeah.
What do you want Wilson to do?
Just be better, I guess, and stop fining me specifically. I'd love that. But yeah, be better for everyone, I think.
All right, well, look, leave it with me. I'm on the job.
Thanks, Karen.
No worries. Should you park your car somewhere, or could I grab a lift? Liv's right. These signs and systems aren't great if you want to know what you're actually agreeing to. But we can't be the only ones who think that. Have you parked a car in the Wilson car park today?
Yes.
Do you always make sure you read every single thing on the sign?
No, very rarely.
I don't have time, the fine print. I don't think anybody reads those.
Of course we do not.
No, do not. What about the QR code? Have you ever scanned that?
Never.
No.
QR codes are a bit beyond me.
They're a bit beyond me, to be honest. Are you aware when you've paid for parking that you've actually entered into a contract?
No, yes, no-ish.
There's a contract?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Didn't even know there's a contract.
This doesn't seem right, but can they do it? I'd love to talk to a lawyer, preferably one named Andrea, to see if this is above board. Hello, lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you
Pleasure.
too.
Can Wilson Parking do this with these $85 breach notices?
The short answer to that question is yes, they can.
Oh.
Provided that all the terms of the parking are clearly displayed.
But you go over to the display board where it tells you all of the money you're going to have to pay for parking, and then it says you agree to the terms and conditions, and if you want to see them, then you've got to scan another QR code and scroll through 1 million pages on the internet to find anything about breach notices. Are they allowed to do that?
They can, provided it is clear.
Clear that you have to scan the QR code in order to see
Yes,
this?
provided the terms are clear and that at some point in those provisions there is reference to the consequences of not complying with the terms of the contract. If the consequences are not out of proportion beyond the interests of the innocent party, i.e. Wilson's.
So Wilson Parking are actually the innocent party here, and they are allowed to do what they're doing?
They are allowed to do what they're doing.
Despite everything they're doing being above board legally, I'm not giving up on this quest for Wilson to be better. So the next step is to take us all behind the issue. The first thing to clear up is that what Wilson Parking gives you is not a fine, it's a breach notice. A fine is a punishment for breaking a law, and Wilson Parking do not have the authority to issue them. A breach notice, however, can be issued when a contract has not been upheld. And when you park in a private car park, you're agreeing to a contract with terms and conditions. Breach the contract, get a breach notice. Another misconception to clear up: Wilson Parking in their enforcement division, Parking Enforcement Services, or PIS, actually have a tiered fee range depending on what part of the contract you breach. It's $45 to $55 if you pay for time but go over, $85 for when you just don't pay at all, and up to $250 for parking in a mobility bay without a valid permit. Now, you might be like me when I see someone with a Labubu and you're thinking, why are they so expensive? Well, like a Labubu, a lot of the price is because of how it makes other people feel. Under the law, breach fees can be made up of covering admin expenses, recovering lost income, and then a deterrent, which isn't allowed to be excessive, but is allowed to make you do a little ouch. So, Wilson's $85 fee is encouraging people to pay for their parking instead of effectively stealing it. This is the key issue for me, because if the $85 fee is meant to be a deterrent, it shouldn't be hidden away in the digital terms and conditions, which you have to scan a QR code to access. It's not a great system. And Liv isn't the only one who hasn't had a fun time with it. In the last 4.5 years, the Commerce Commission, or ComCom, received 470 concerns about Wilson parking, and over 300 of them were about breach notices. So, to quote my co-host and best friend, this is an issue for all of us. I want to let you know what to do when a breach notice happens to you. So I roped in an expert who was also a victim.
It all started when I got my own parking fine a couple of years ago.
Was it with Wilson?
Yes, it was Wilson.
I mean, how did it make you feel when you got it?
I was so terrified. I mean, you open this letter, you read to the bottom and it says, they're going to send you to debt collectors and it's going to impact your credit record if you don't pay. So that's really scary.
I mean, what are your rights? What can you just ignore it? Or do you have to do what they scare you into doing?
Yeah, well, look, in my heart, I want to say, totally ignore it.
You can say that.
But I can't say that. It's not true. You absolutely should not ignore one of these letters, right? The best thing that you can do is read it, figure out exactly what they're accusing you of, open up a chain of dialogue, email them, even if that time for appeal, usually it's about 14 days, even if that's over, just contact them and say, hey, well, actually, where's the evidence for this? What goes into you know, making up this fine? What am I actually paying for? And then the final thing is that, you know, once you've gone through this dialogue with Wilson or any operator, if you have to pay, pay. There may be some debt collection impacts there. We don't want that. We don't want this impacting on your credit record or anything like that. So at the end of the day, once you've had your appeal, pay.
What do you see, or what would you want to see as the future for breach notices here in Aotearoa?
We want to see really, really clear signage. You're looking for a park, but as soon as you park, you've agreed to the terms and conditions. So those terms and conditions have to be really, really clear. The wording should be much larger, should be in plain English, and it should be adequately signposted.
It's not clear. You've got to scan a QR code, then you've got to get, there's a million pages in there. Yeah.
And that's not fair, and it shouldn't be on the consumer to chase down those terms and conditions.
So if you could just say one thing to Wilson Parking right now, I mean, what would you say to them?
Do better. Be nice. Be fair.
It's really powerful. Anything else you want to say to them?
Well, there's something I want to say to you.
Okay.
And the people viewing at home.
Oh, great.
It's don't go and harass the people in the car parks, putting the tickets on or, you know, writing the letters or marking your card. They're just doing their job. It's not their fault.
Wilsons have agreed to meet me in their office on camera, and I'm not leaving until I get something out of them. Hi, Matt. How's it going?
Karen. Good to meet you.
Yeah. Could we just swap places? I feel a bit short. So if we just, I think that's just, you know, we want to be on a level playing field. I think that's always good. Hey, look, thank you so much for coming to meet me. I mean, at your work. I really appreciate that. Now, look, we've had someone come to us that's got a bit of an issue with the $85 breach notices that you guys like to give out. I just want to know first and foremost, like, where did you come up with that number 85?
Well, firstly, we don't like to give out the $85 breach fee, but it does need to be set at a good level that acts as a deterrent. I think the New Zealand Disputes Tribunal have found that 85 up to 120 is a reasonable deterrent. And the good thing is you can still write in and appeal it. And if we've seen that you've done it for the first time and you made an effort to pay and you've given us a good reason for that, it's going to be waived, because we actually waive over half of the breach notices that people write in and appeal. We actually end up waiving them in goodwill. We'd rather educate people
So speaking of the signage, I was going to talk to you about that as well a bit, because obviously, you know, you go in there, you want to know the terms and conditions so that you don't get one of these breach things, and there's a QR code. We're just going to pause because there's a big loud car. And then you've got to go access the QR code, scroll through all those pages to work out where is the breach amount. I mean, do you think that's a deterrent because it's just so annoying?
Yeah, look, we get that, and we're always looking for ways to improve the messaging on our signage. And with regards to the breach fee, that's a fair comment, and that's something that we're working on.
So Matt, I am a solutions-focused kind of a person, so I'd really like to come up with a solution that we could agree on right now. We talked about the signs. I mean, can you kind of promise me now that you will make it clearer, put that $85 breach amount on your signage?
We are absolutely going to do that. We're working on it. We really appreciate the feedback that we get from people about that. So I can assure you that that's top of our agenda, improving our signage and making the messaging much clearer.
That's fantastic. So I just want to thank you again for your time. It's been marvellous.
Good, you're
Have
welcome.
a good rest of your day.
Did you pay for your parking?
I'm just...
Good. Okay.
Success! Not only did I get Wilson to be better, I also forgot we're apart.